If I wiped my portfolio and started over today, most people would assume I'd wait, right? SPY, all-time highs, QQQ, all-time highs, SCHD is having a very strong year, and the common instinct is wait for a pullback, buy the dip, and don't chase. Now, that instinct has cost investors more money than almost any other habit in modern investing. The market spends most of its time near all-time highs. Waiting for the perfect entry on broad index ETFs is not a strategy, it's a reason to stay out forever. If I were starting fresh today, here's exactly what I'd build and why, and the account each fund goes into matters as much as the funds itself. Here's the current market picture that shapes this starting point, okay? SPY is trading around like 740, QQQ around 710 as of this week, both at all-time high territory. QQQ up 15% year to date in 2026. Early in the year, both funds experienced significant drawdowns on tariff concerns, macro uncertainty, and then recovered sharply over the past several weeks. Anyone who waited for that dip and bought in April had a great entry. I bought a lot. Anyone who waited for even bigger dip is still waiting though, right? And the market's still trading at all-time highs. SCHD also had a strong year benefiting from the value and dividend rotation that's been running underneath the tech-led recovery. The covered call ETFs, JEPI, JEPQ, QQQI, SPYI have all continued generating monthly income throughout, regardless of what the index fund did in any given week. And that combination, broad indexes at all-time highs with income ETFs generating consistent distributions, is actually a reasonable starting environment, not because the market can't pull back, but because for a long-term portfolio, the starting price on broad index funds matters far less than most people believe when the holding period is 10, 15, or 20 years, okay? The framework I'd use to build from zero isn't about market timing. It's about account setup and architecture. Most people ask, which ETF should I buy? Before asking, what does each of my accounts need to do? That's backwards. The account type determines the job. The fund that serves that job best goes there. ETF selection follows account purpose. The Roth IRA is a compounding account. No taxes on the growth while you hold. No taxes on qualified withdrawals in retirement. No required minimum distributions. The objective inside a Roth is maximum long-term compounding, and specifically funds that distribute ordinary income belong here because that income classification costs you literally nothing inside a Roth. In a taxable account though, the same ordinary income distributions would be taxed at your full federal rate every year. The taxable brokerage account is a tax-efficient income account. Funds that distribute return of capital, which defers taxes rather than triggering them annually, belong in there. You get the income, the tax bill arrives years later when you sell, and the capital gains rates rather than ordinary income rates. SPY, QQQ, and SHD span both accounts though. Where they go depends on your specific situation and time horizon, but the income ETF placement question is clear once you understand how the distributions are actually taxed. Let's talk about SPY and QQQ, accumulating weekly regardless of price. These are the growth engines. SPY for broad US market exposure, QQQ for NASDAQ heavy tech and growth weight. Both at all-time highs, right? I still buy them every week. The reason comes down to one number, cost basis. If you buy SPY every week for 15 years, your average cost reflects every price the market traded. The highs, the pullbacks, the corrections, and of course the recoveries. Your cost basis 15 years from now will be significantly below whatever the market is, right? Because the market tends to compound upward over long periods of time. Now that's not a guarantee, but historically it is. The cost basis is the retirement asset. A low average cost basis on SPY and QQQ built through weekly accumulation regardless of market level eventually, for me at least, creates covered call setups where far out of the money calls generate income with almost no risk of being called away at a loss. That's not achievable by buying one dip. It requires years and years of consistent accumulation at every price. QQQ specifically benefits from Roth placement because of its higher IV. In retirement, selling covered calls on QQQ positions generates richer premiums than equivalent SPY positions. Inside the Roth, that premium income compounds tax-free. Let's talk about one of my favorites, SHD, the dividend growth anchor. SHD goes in the Roth for accumulation phase, with dividends reinvesting automatically, okay? The current yield is around 3.5%. The dividend growth rate has historically run above 11% annually since inception. At that growth rate, the income generated from the same shares roughly doubles every 6 to 7 years. A position generating $3,500 per year today could generate significantly more per year from the same original investment in 15 years. Not from adding capital, but from dividend growth compounding, okay? Inside a Roth, every quarterly distribution buys more shares tax-free. Those shares pay more dividends. It literally is, the flywheel literally runs without an annual tax interruption. SHD's qualified dividend character is an advantage in a taxable account too, but inside the Roth, the advantage is way more interrupted compounding that we get. Let's talk about JEPI and JEPQ. This is in a Roth income layer. JEPI, JEPQ generate income obviously through covered call overlays, primarily distributed though as ordinary income. At a 24% federal tax bracket, holding these in a taxable account means paying roughly 24 cents in tax for every dollar of distribution received. At a 32% bracket, it's even worse. Inside the Roth, that ordinary income classification becomes irrelevant. The full distribution compounds. A fund effectively yielding 10% in a Roth stays at 10% in a taxable account. At 24%, that roughly becomes 8.5% after tax. Over a decade of compounding, that difference compounds into a significant gap. The purpose inside the Roth, though, is generate income during accumulation that reinvests automatically, then function as a monthly distribution source during retirement drawdown mode. No tax event on either side. Let's talk about QQQI, SPYI in the taxable income layer. QQQI and SPYI use index options that qualify for Section 1256 tax treatment. 60% tax at long-term capital gains, 40% short-term. More practically, a significant portion of their distributions also have been classified as return of capital, which isn't taxed in the year you receive it. Your cost basis decreases instead. The taxable arrives only when you eventually sell at capital gains rates, potentially years from now. In a taxable brokerage account, that deferral has some real value. You receive income, you don't pay the tax on it this year. The full amount compounds until you sell. That structural advantage only matters in a taxable account. Inside a Roth, it's irrelevant, obviously, because nothing is taxed anyway. Putting QQI or SPYI in a Roth wastes the one environment where the tax efficiency creates an edge for us, okay? So these are the 5 ETFs, 2 account types, 1 principal. Match each fund's tax profile to the account where it produces the best net income, right? Ordinary income funds, JEPI and JEPQ, belong in the Roth where the tax drag disappears. Return of capital funds, QQQI and SPI, belong in taxable where the deferral creates a real advantage for us. Growth and dividend accumulation, SPY, QQQI, SHD, go where long-term compounding is protected from annual interruption. The instinct to wait for a pullback before buying SPY and QQQ ignores what the data consistently shows. Most entry points spread over long holding periods look fine in hindsight. The investor who waited for a 10% pullback in 2024 missed the full year. The investor who waits for a pullback from a current all-time highs might wait a very long time. Consistent accumulation and correct account placement do more for a 20-year outcome than any entry timing. That's the architecture, okay? Start with that. And here's literally what I do. I literally buy SPY and QQQI or QQQ every single week. Not because this week is optimal, because I've been doing it consistently now for years and years, and the cost basis that's built up gives me some real flexibility I wouldn't have if I tried to time entries. SCHD is in my Roth, reinvesting automatically. I don't manage it actively at all. The reconstitution handles all of that quality rotation. JEPI and JEPQ are in my Roth IRA, generating distributions that reinvest during accumulation. Eventually, they become the monthly income source in my retirement years. QQI and SPYI are in my taxable account. I watch the distribution classification each year, and the tax math continues to favor holding them here over holding JEPQ in the same exact account. 5 funds, 2 accounts, weekly purchases, no timing, that's it. Got some questions as always for you guys in the comments. Always great convos down there. Number 1, are you currently separating your income ETFs by account type, or are you holding them wherever you have available capital without thinking about the tax? I did that for years and years and kicked myself. Number 2, are you buying SPY or QQQ right now near all-time highs or waiting for a pullback? And how long have you been waiting? Let us know down below in the comments. And also, if you want to take your education a step further, click the first link in the description description. Attend the Ark Options workshop. It's 90 minutes long. At the end, I give you my 15 favorite stocks, all under $30 that I love running the wheel strategy on. You'll learn about our 100 contract club. We just donated over 400 Bibles to those who need it most. You'll also learn about our Option Seller School Mastermind at the end of that training. It's perfect for those of you just getting started with income ETFs, building an income floor, and running an active income layer that I like to refer to as the Ark Options Strategy. Click the first link in the description of today's video. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.